The gala was one of those events where everyone pretended to care about charity while secretly competing over who had the shiniest watch or the most expensive outfit. I wasn't supposed to be there. I was just a guest's last-minute plus one, a single dad who'd spent the last few years juggling 2 jobs and raising my daughter after her mom left. My friend worked for the catering company and got me a ticket as a thank you for helping with a school fundraiser. I thought it'd be a quiet night of polite conversation and free dessert. But the moment I stepped into the hall, I could tell it wasn't that kind of crowd. At the center table sat her, Victoria Langford, the youngest self-made billionaire in the city. Everyone knew her name. She'd built an empire in tech, donated millions, and yet people whispered that she was impossible to please, cold, and rude. Even from across the room, you could feel the tension orbiting her table like gravity. People went silent when she walked by. Waiters avoided her. No one dared to speak unless she spoke first. Somehow, by some cosmic joke, the only seat left was right beside her. I hesitated before sitting down, but she didn't even glance my way, just scrolled through her phone, expression blank. The waiter poured her wine, and she didn't say thank you. When the young man's hand trembled slightly, she said sharply, "Be careful. This dress costs more than your monthly paycheck." The table froze. The waiter's face flushed red, and he mumbled an apology before scurrying off. I felt something twist inside me. My daughter Emily always told me, "Dad, kindness doesn't cost anything." I looked at Victoria, her perfect posture and cold eyes, and wondered if she'd forgotten that. The rest of the table stayed silent, pretending not to hear. But I couldn't. "You know," I said calmly, "my daughter once spilled juice all over me before a job interview. I didn't yell at her. I changed my shirt and thanked her for trying to help. Sometimes people make mistakes." For the first time, she looked at me. Those sharp gray eyes met mine, surprised. The air seemed to shift. The man on her other side nearly choked on his drink, as if he couldn't believe someone had dared to talk back to her. Victoria blinked, clearly not used to being challenged. "Are you implying I was wrong?" she asked. Her tone was ice, but I didn't flinch. "I'm saying you didn't have to be cruel," I replied softly. "Respect isn't something you buy with money, it's something you earn with how you treat people." A few people glanced between us, waiting for her to explode. But she didn't. She just stared at me, unreadable, before turning her gaze back to her glass. "You talk too much," she said quietly. I smiled faintly. "So I've been told." The tension eased a little, and the conversation awkwardly resumed around us. But for the rest of the dinner, she didn't say a word. I thought that was the end of it, until I was about to leave. As I helped my friend carry boxes to the catering van, Victoria appeared outside, alone. The cold air cut through her designer dress, and for the first time, she didn't look untouchable. "You embarrassed me back there," she said, but her voice wasn't angry, just tired. I shrugged. "I wasn't trying to. I just don't like seeing good people treated badly." She crossed her arms. "You think I'm a bad person?" "I think you're a person who forgot what it feels like to be treated kindly," I said. "Sometimes success makes people build walls so high, they forget how to open the door again." She stared at me for a long time before sighing. "You have a daughter?" I nodded. "Yeah. She's 7. She thinks everyone deserves a second chance." Victoria looked away, her expression softening. "Your daughter's wise." "She's hopeful," I said. "That's what the world needs more of." A faint smile tugged at her lips. "You're different," she murmured. "Most people either fear me or flatter me." "Maybe that's the problem," I replied. "You're surrounded by people who talk to your bank account, not to you." She didn't answer right away, just reached into her bag and handed me a card. "Call my office next week. I have an opening on a community tech project. You'd fit better there than most of my executives." I laughed softly. "Is this your way of saying sorry?" "It's my way of saying thank you," she said, then turned and walked away, her heels clicking against the marble floor. A few days later, I took the job, not for the paycheck, but because I wanted to see if she really meant it. To my surprise, she did. Over time, she changed. She started saying, "Thank you," started showing up at projects without cameras or reporters. And once, months later, she told me something I never forgot. "That night, When everyone avoided me, you didn't. You reminded me what real respect looks like. Sometimes, one small moment of honesty can change even the coldest heart, and that night, it did.